Hello and welcome to Harrison by the Stream, your guide to streaming content here in Australia. And this week we're going to be talking about documentaries. Now I know documentaries can be dry and boring and educational, but I've chosen some amazing documentaries here. They're very visually distinctive. They have incredible directors that bring these stories, these people to life, to take the subject, whether it's a person or it's just an amazing tale to be told, and putting it there on the screen for you to enjoy, to be entertained. And that's what I feel like modern documentaries are really doing. So here are some amazing documentaries. Let's get started. Now, one thing I've absolutely loved about documentaries in the last few years is their immediacy. For a long time, people have thought that documentaries were strictly historically based. It was about someone at some point in time who did something amazing or something awful, and then it took this huge amount of time and effort and to get things out there for people to care about it. Two documentaries I'm actually going to suggest right off the bat are Internet's Own Boy and Downloaded. The former is an incredible story about a man named Aaron Swartz. Aaron Swartz was a digital prodigy, an information activist who was jailed in 2011 after downloading and sharing thousands of articles from journal database JSTOR. Swartz's tale is one of the old world going after the new world, and it's a story that has to be seen to be believed. It's a truly heartbreaking documentary about the offline life of one of the world's biggest online game changers. Even my mum actually watched this documentary when it was on SBS a few months ago, and she was absolutely amazed that she had never heard of Swartz or what had happened to him. So I think if my mum can enjoy it, she's a lovely woman who doesn't really like documentaries, then I highly suggest you check out this documentary. Now, I really didn't want to count this as my first entry because the amazing team behind the doco actually released the entire thing online. You can watch it on YouTube right now. The second suggestion I have is Downloaded, a 2013 documentary by Alex Winter. Yes, that Alex Winter, from one of the best goddamn comedies ever made, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Downloaded is a fantastic documentary about the rise and fall of Napster. Napster was the first ever peer-to-peer file sharing network solely based around music. The film goes through the lawsuits, the backlash from the music industry, the fans, the cultural influence, and how John Fanning, Sean Fanning, and Sean Parker changed the world. Now, spoilers, one of the guys helped create Spotify, but I will say that this is a documentary that is about our time, about the last 15 years of the music industry and how the digital realm changed all of that. I'm also very excited for Mr. Winter's next documentary about the deep web, which was released this year. I'm hoping it comes out on Netflix very soon. My third suggestion is Not Quite Hollywood. It's an action-packed thrill ride of a film complete with stunts, chills, spills, and kills, but really it's actually about how Australian cinema used to be and how amazing and creative and insane it used to be. How grindhouse cinema in the 70s and 80s absolutely changed Australian cinema. It's a wonderful documentary, complete with interviews from Mad Max's George Miller, Quentin Tarantino, George Lazenby, Dennis Hopper, and Sandy Harbert, just because I wanted to say the name Sandy Harbert. Now, the documentary is a bit chaotic in places. It skips a few gems here and there. It's a little bit sort of all over the place when it comes to documenting the entire chronological sort of history, but honestly, it is so entertaining and so much fun, and they break the documentary up into different types of Ozploitation or genre films that were sort of concurrent in Australian cinema. It's so much fun to watch, and I also highly suggest that you check out some of the films that they talk about in the documentary. A few of them are actually available for free online on YouTube, or you can get them from a few wonderful distributors such as Umbrella for $10 online. They're really good guys. I highly suggest that, actually. My fourth suggestion is Life Itself. Not my life. Anyway, look, it's a list of documentaries. You figure it out. I am absolutely obsessed with autobiographies and the lives of others because I feel everyone has a story to tell, and I feel like you can learn so much about yourself by reading into the lives of others. And I think that with the stories that we tell, I think that the most important ones are the ones that we can look back in hindsight and retrospect, and we can gain so much about who the person is compared to where they were. And I think that Roger Ebert truly has lived an amazing life, and there is so much in the film life itself that can teach us about us and about the endurance of human life. Now, while you may know Ebert as the guy who invented the 2 thumbs up system, or the fact that he hated this or that movie, it's also his it's also about his life and about everything that he's done, whether it was his first foray into writing a film with Boob King, Ross Meyer, his Pulitzer Prize winning criticism, his life growing up in Chicago, or his absolutely amazing loving family. Life itself is a film that I have no problem giving 2 thumbs up, and I highly suggest you check out. Roger Ebert is an amazing figure, and honestly, I wouldn't be doing any of this if I hadn't read his work or had known about him ever since I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, growing up in Australia, just reading about this man who literally traveled the world and just reviewed films and lived such an amazing life and had such a descriptive way of describing how cinema should be, or to some degree how he thought it should be. I think it's amazing. I highly suggest you check out Life itself. Now, I love a really good mystery. Don't you? Now, The Imposter is my next suggestion, as it blends a style of documentary that you may or may not be familiar with. In the last few years, many documentaries have adopted a more docudrama style, blending interviews with recreated events and stylized cinematography. One of the best examples of this is The Imposter. Now, I'm gonna try and spoil as little as possible, but the story starts off weird, but simple. A family's child goes missing. They put a missing persons report together, they put it out, and then the child is found in Spain and sent back to the family. But the entire story is told by this man, a con man, named Frederic Baudin. But why? And that's all in the first 10 minutes of The Imposter. You really have to watch the rest of it to find out. It's an amazing story that unravels so perfectly and so intricately. At every single minute, you will be guessing and questioning what is happening from every single point of view. Who is lying? Who is telling the truth? What is happening here? I highly suggest The Imposter on Netflix. And finally, I wanted to go with a Netflix original that I really think is worth your time. What Happened, Miss Simone is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. It is a beautifully crafted documentary about one of my favorite artists of all time, Nina Simone. Liz Garbus's documentary takes Miss Simone through her origins as a child prodigy in 1930s North Carolina, her rise to stardom in Philly, and then all the way to headlining shows at the Montreux Jazz Festival, all scored by the dark, beautiful, and serene music she helped write, craft, and play. What Happened also shows the chaotic, dark side of her life, her role for the civil rights movement, and how it actually damaged her career. While it does lack in talking about her final years and sort of her comeback and the way that sort of people know Nina Simone now, I think it is actually an incredibly objective documentary, shown from sort of archive footage of her husband/manager, her children, the people who've worked with her and played with her all over the world. I think it is really a full documentary that is incredibly worth your time. If you've never heard Miss Simone's music before, you really need to start now. It is a beautiful, beautiful film, and maybe this is where you need to begin. So there you have it, 5 absolutely amazing documentaries that you can check out on Netflix, and one that you can check out on Netflix or on YouTube. I hope you have an amazing week. I'm currently working on 2 more reviews for Netflix original shows, probably be a bit more unscripted, and will be out by the end of August. For more videos and info, do check the description below, and don't forget to subscribe. It's a little button click, it's a little button press, you can easily do it. Do like us on Facebook at facebook.com/HarrisonBTS, and obviously follow me on Twitter at HarrisonTheFan. I hope you have an incredible day. Thank you so much for watching Harrison by the Stream, and do watch more documentaries. There's so much out there. Have an awesome day.
On such a nice day, I don't mind if I may take the opportunity and share what I got to say.